Hey everyone, how's it going? Thank you for watching. This episode of At Least You Know Comedy Show is brought to you by Malice Haunted Attraction.
As we all know, spooky season is almost here, and one of my favorite things to do other than recording this podcast is going to check out haunted houses.
And what a better place to go than Malice. Located at 1777 Nicks Road, right between Lewisburg and Belfast, they will be open the weekend of October 16th and 17th, and they're closing the weekend of Halloween.
We know the guys over at Malice personally, and they're really good people, and we're really proud that they are sponsoring this episode.
Make sure that you guys show them some love and go give them a like and a follow on all social media. And if you go see them, make sure that you let them know that At Least You Know Comedy Show sent you. Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of At Least You Know Comedy Show. Today, myself, Dylan, and we have Ethan in the studio, the co-host, and the homeboy, Noah, A.K.A. grasskingdoms, is on the motherfucking track. He's in the studio, he's here, he's ready to go. He's going to play a song for us later, and I'm super excited.
Oh, shit.
Before we get started, do me a favor, promote everything that you want to promote.
All my social media is at grasskingdoms on everything: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, SoundCloud, blah, blah, blah. I'm all over Spotify. If you Google me, you'll find lots of links with pictures of me on them. I don't have anything like specific I'm working on. I mean, like there's a lot of things I'm always working on. I'm always like writing, but I don't have anything new coming out besides just like a never-ending series of content. So yeah, just pull up my social media, follow me, shoot me a ring, say what's up. I'll say what's up back, and we'll party. It'll be fun.
Again, at Grass Kingdoms. I'm glad you're here. This is awesome. I'm really excited. The way that this came to be was somebody told me to join this random Nashville young entertainment professionals group.
Yeah.
So I did. Group. And I was like, the first thing that I saw was this dude saying, "Hey, is there any podcasts?" I'm like, "Me. Hey, pick me. I'm down." And then he's like, we get to talking, and I was like, "What kind of music do you do?" You know, just trying to get to know him.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Oh, you know, Tom Segura's podcast." I was like, "Yeah, it's my favorite podcast." "Why do you ask?" And he's like, "I'm Grass Kingdoms." I'm like, "No fucking way."
Yeah.
So I had to Google this fool, and
Hey.
I was so excited. I literally fangirled. He's like, "Dude, he's probably thinking this is fucking the stupidest thing that I've ever seen."
It's pretty wholesome. I'm not mad at like the wholesomeness. It's nice. I'm not famous, so when people are excited to meet me, I get a little bit excited myself, you know? Like, it's finally happening, Mom. But
People are happy to see me.
you know, whatever. It's totally wholesome and adorable. So I'm not tired of it yet. Maybe one day I will be, but for right now we're cool. So
Trust me, it'll get there. You'll get the weird fans that want you to be on their podcast and shit.
Right.
Wait.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Huh? What?
I mean, you know, if I can do it, I'll do it, I guess. I don't know. Let's party.
So, all right, let's start from the very beginning. This is something that
Yeah.
I like to do when I interview people that I don't know anything about.
Yeah,
Tell
totally.
me, like, all right, so what was it like for you when you were in fourth grade? No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
Tell me, what got you into music in the first place?
I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I've just always, like, I can remember what got me into, like, my first instrument, you know? Like,
Yeah.
but even before that, before I ever was playing any instruments, I was still, like, writing songs and, like, singing shit. And I was really into, like, music. And I knew I wanted to be, like, a musician or something. But I didn't, you know, like, I'm talking about when I'm, like, 9 or 10 years old. And you know, like, I didn't come from a musical family. So no one in my family had instruments. So, like, I knew that I wanted to, like, sing or something, but it just wasn't a thing until I was, like, 14 when I got my first guitar. And that was just straight up, like, I was hanging out with a bunch of people, and every day after school, they would bring their guitars to school, and we would all just hang out and play guitar. And I was just like, man, I want to fucking play guitar with these dudes. So I got my first guitar 10 days after my 14th birthday. So what is that? September 29, 2004. Was when I got like my first instrument. And then from there, you know, at the time I was in high school, I was really into like metal. So I'm just,
Aren't we all?
yeah, definitely. Like I still fuck with a lot of metal, but not like nearly. I was just like, I wasn't an angry kid, but like if it wasn't metal, I didn't give a fuck what it was.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't listen to anything except like metal. Like I grew up like really loving like Slipknot and like Korn and all those like mall metal bands, but you know,
Mall metal.
yeah, but I mean like, you know, I'm talking about like 10-year-old me here, so I mean it makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, then I got a guitar and was playing that for a while and was kind of like in and out of a few bands. And then I joined another band like at the end of high school, and I was playing bass for them for a while, and it was another metal band, you know. But it was weird. That band started to break up around like 2009. And with that, like near the end of that, I was writing a lot of the music. Like I was just always writing music, but I was always writing it like on my computer. So I was recording like my guitar playing and recording, you know, like sequencing drums on like other programs and shit.
Nice.
And writing like metal music, but like bringing it to the band and being like, hey, here's this song I wrote. Then we would all practice it, play it, and then like that was another song.
Yeah.
But then the band broke up for, you know, whatever reasons. And I kind of was like, I knew that, I was like, man, I just wrote these full songs by myself. Like, you know, I should keep doing that. So I just kept, you know, learning more about like recording and actually like how to record yourself and all of that. You know, then I ended up.
How did you teach yourself all that stuff? Was it like YouTube or was it
Oh,
just,
dude, this is even pre-YouTube.
just trial and error?
Yeah, well, straight up, like, I went to Walmart and bought, like, a webcam microphone and just put it up against my guitar cab. You know what I mean? Like, that was, I didn't teach myself shit.
Yeah.
I just did that. And then, like, I had Mixcraft, Acoustica Mixcraft, and I had Acoustica Drumcraft, which Drumcraft was, like, the drum sequencing software where you would, like, make your drums. And then I would, like, export those, bring those into the other system. And I would record my guitar amp and even vocals with, like, a webcam microphone, and we'd put a sock over it, you know, to be like a pop filter. Yeah, 100%.
That's so cool.
So, I mean, like, these recordings are somewhere on MySpace. I don't remember where, but, you know, like back then. And then in about 2011, I ended up going to school for, like, audio engineering. I went to a trade school out in Arizona. And that was when I actually, like, professionally learned, you know, like, how to record music and, like, what, like, an interface is and, like, what a professional DAW is. And, you know, I got, like, certified in a bunch of different things and learned a bunch of different things. And, you know, between here and there, I've just been kind of experimenting and doing what I can. And, you know, I've lived in a few different cities and worked at a handful of studios. And now I'm currently in Nashville, you know?
So where are you originally from?
I grew up in Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay.
Glendale, to be specific.
Yeah.
Right out on the west side, right by Westgate. I don't know if you're familiar with Arizona.
I've been there a few times.
Okay.
Yeah.
All my homies back home will be like, oh, shit, we know that place.
Oh, shit. Motherfucking represent Glendale.
Hell yeah, dog. I got Arizona tattooed on my right foot. Brah. It's too fucking... It's too hot out there, though.
Dude, it's too hot in Tennessee. I'm trying to take my fat ass back to Michigan.
It's not really that hot out here, though. It definitely gets humid, and that's, like, shitty. People are always asking me, like, when I tell them I'm from Arizona, and then they say something like, oh, well, which do you like worse or like better? You know, is like Arizona summers versus Tennessee summers. And it's just like, dude, they're both fucking garbage. Like,
Right.
They both suck ass.
yeah, like, who cares?
What are you talking about?
Who cares what's better? They're trash.
I like the heat out west a hell of a lot better than here, though, because it's nowhere near as humid.
Yeah, well, I mean...
You don't walk outside and immediately turn into a fucking puddle.
No, Arizona is like 0% humidity, but it'd be like 115 degrees.
It doesn't... that's the same thing to me. It doesn't make a difference.
They're
both fucking hot.
I haven't been home for a summer in like 6 years, so I don't even remember, and I don't really give a shit to like go back. Like, you know, like I'm not trying to do the experiment where I spend a month out here and a month out there and then like write notes. I don't care anymore.
So how'd you end up in Nashville?
Well, my parents like sold the house I grew up in, like we all grew up in. They sold that house and they moved to Knoxville, and they kind of like, I kind of just went with them. You know, like they told me like a year in advance. This is in like summer of 2014. We were talking and they were like, hey, you know, next April, like this was April, and they were like, a year from now, we're trying to sell this house and we're trying to move out to Knoxville, Tennessee. And if you want to move to Nashville, then, you know, like we can help you out. We can make that happen for you. So I had been saving up money because I wanted to leave Arizona. But I didn't really know where I wanted to go. And then when they kind of gave me that opportunity, I kind of just said like, fuck it, and went with it. And, you know, that was in 2015. It's you know, I signed my first lease out here May 9th, 2015. So, yeah, it's been just over 5 years for me.
Yeah.
That's so cool that you just. I was talking to him earlier, and I was kind of asking him, you know, like the same line of questions, and I was talking about how cool it is that like you and I and Scoop and like people that are from all over the world, you know, have somehow met in Middle
just happened
Tennessee.
to be here.
Yeah.
Of all places.
And then
Like-
he shows up in Nashville, and I'm like, of course I know who Your Mom's House podcast is. It's one of my favorites. He goes,
Yeah,
oh,
right.
well, you've heard my music. And I'm like,
well,
get
I
the
was on
fuck-
there, motherfucker.
Get
So
the fuck out of here.
yeah.
Yeah, I love that show.
It's such a cool, small ass little world that 7 billion people live in.
It really is,
yeah.
though. Like, even when you get into like particular like industries and whatnot, like even like the music industry is really only like 15 people. You know, it's like there's a lot of other people, but there's really only like 10 or 15, and then
Yeah.
there's like people that work for them, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know, man. It's wild. The more people you meet, the more like 6 degrees of separation is like a real thing in a lot of instances. You know, so it's wild. It's crazy. I love it. Life's cool.
So, all right, you said you were into metal, and then you said
Yeah.
you wrote a bunch of songs and stuff. What made you pick the particular genre that you're starting to go for? I listened to your older stuff, and I was a huge fan of it, and I'm a huge fan of your newer stuff too. But like, what brought you to the what's the journey? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, if we're gonna go, like I was into metal for a while, you know, and then once the band broke up, I really kind of started listening to more things, and there was a time like shortly after that, maybe 2010, 2011, where I was really into like New York hip hop, and that's it. Like I didn't like I was I was a dickhead about metal when I was younger, and then I was a dickhead about like boom bap. You know what I mean? Like all I listened to was just like if it was made in like Brooklyn and like between 91 and 95, like anything before or after, I didn't really give a fuck about. But like I was really all about that for a while, and it was weird because I was like, you know, like I cut all my hair off because I had long hair back then too. You know, I cut my hair off and started wearing like straight billed hats and rapping.
Stop.
You know, 100%. And I was using the same webcam mic to record raps. You know.
Please tell me you had the Jinko jeans.
No, this is after that. This is after that. No, we were still rocking skinny jeans back then. This is like 2010, so it's not that long ago, you know.
Yeah.
But no, I was really, really into rap, and like obviously then that turned into like making beats, you know, and like going for more as opposed to like trying to make like metal music on my computer. Now I was trying to like flip samples and you know, like make boom bap and make like hardcore hip hop, and then just kind of like as I grew and learned more, like I've been playing piano for probably about 13 years or so, but
Damn.
I've really been like playing for maybe 6 or 7, you know, like just because as I was kind of just experimenting with different genres of music and just trying new things, I just started meeting other people that were like better musicians than me. Like my buddy Steve back home in Arizona, he's a keyboard player and he's phenomenal, and like hanging out with him got me like excited about keyboard. And the more I got excited about like synthesizers and whatnot, I just kind of didn't really change my style of music, but like kind of moved away from like old school hip hop to more just like new school, like rap and just weird like EDM stuff and just electronic music as like a whole, you know? And even like for a while I was still just making beats, just making like hard, weird, trippy beats, and I was trying to do like all this weird like psychedelic music, you know, which is all fun shit, but
Mushroom
like
music.
yeah, I mean like, you know, you can't escape the person you are. But like I don't know, I realistically speaking, about a year and a half ago, I started to kind of listen to a lot more like pop music and a lot more like dance stuff, and that started just like seeping into like my creative atmosphere,
Right.
more so than like rap, because so like I don't know, just like as I've evolved like as a musician and whatnot, you know, these days I'm not really like, I didn't really start singing in music until about a year ago, like over my tracks. You know, I was making instrumental music for like 8 or 9 years.
Did you sing before that, or was it just something that
No.
you just decided to pick up?
No, I just kind of decided to do it.
How cool.
You know, like, I mean, like, I've always like sang. My bad, that was loud. I've always sang. You know, like I like singing. I enjoyed the art, but I never like took myself as a singer.
Yeah.
And you know, I used to write songs, but I never like performed them or did anything. They were just like songs I would write just for the sake of writing them. But even like the shit I'm making now, like I'm kind of, I try not to like wait for people on things. Like I was making beats for such a long time, and it's really hard to like break the ice as a producer if you don't have like a rapper with, you know what I mean? Like if you're trying to become like a producer, like who's a big name dude, it's just super helpful to align yourself with a rapper, and then you guys blow up together. Like that happened with, I mean, fuck, name any successful rapper now, and they usually have like a guy that's the right hand man.
DJ Khaled.
Well, you know, I mean, like Drake has 40, you know, Kanye has himself, but like, but I was always trying to like find that connection with someone, and there's a lot of people that I've worked with that are great and that are super dope and tight and that I love working with, but I'm just like, I'm always writing, and it got to the point where I was like, man, I want some fucking vocals over these tracks.
Right.
But I don't have time to like deal with people who are like, yeah, let's come through on Thursday and record, and then Thursday comes and I don't hear from them type shit. Like,
God.
yeah, and I mean, like, there are people like that
God,
of everything. I'm sure, like, you even had that for, like, guests on the fucking show. Like, hey, come through and do my podcast. And they go, yeah, I'll do it on Tuesday. Then Tuesday, they don't even hit you up. So it's like, I don't have time for that shit. So
Have we?
We've had one
or two maybe
that have flaked, but for the most part, people have kind of been interested.
Well, like,
and I'm not sure
Yeah,
why.
a lot of
More-
people have showed up, or if they couldn't make it, they were really good about being ahead of time,
Well-
being like, "Hey, I can't do it." Like,
well, you told me that I'm like the first person outside of like your immediate circle of influence.
true.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the more strangers you meet, the more it's gonna fucking happen. It's just, it just happens. Like you can have like the dopest beats in the world, but it's just like, if you can't find someone to like sync with, then it's really hard to like rise above.
yeah,
So I kind of just,
Speaking of,
What's up?
let me interrupt you. Sorry.
Yeah. My bad.
Speaking of what you just said, I don't rap. I don't rap at all. I just recently picked up singing myself. Like, I'm just trying to learn because I've been playing music pretty much since I was about the same age as you.
Yeah.
But when I heard there was a song that you did called Tracers, and it had a
Yes.
rapper on it, and I was
Yeah.
like, this is fucking dope.
Yeah, that's my buddy Trent, or Infidel.
Infidel. And then I heard part 2. I was literally in the car like trying to freestyle over
Yeah,
it. 'Cause
hell
I was
yeah,
like, this
hell
is
yeah.
such a good like hard ass beat, and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? I can't fucking rap.
Not with that attitude, man. You can do anything you set your mind to, baby.
you gotta do the Brandon DiCamillo style.
That's what I'm
Christ.
saying, man. If you say you can't, then you never will. So
You've inspired me though. I
Good.
downloaded an app to it's not an app. It's a music software that has like a lot of trap style synths and keyboards and
What
beats and
software?
stuff like
What'd
that.
you
It's called Soundtrap.
okay,
And
it just like plays the beats for you,
no, it gives you a bunch of different instruments to use,
and
like
you just
can,
like lay out loops.
yeah,
Oh, that's dope.
not like well, there are loops, but it'll give you like say I want to play a keyboard, okay, and then I can play it literally on my computer's keyboard, like play the different notes.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's, like,
yeah.
it's so cool to me.
Hell yeah.
But I made a trap beat version of the 007 song.
Hell yeah. You gonna?
So just like fuck it, I don't know
I
what
mean, you got a microphone and everything. Let's get some
Yeah.
bars on it, man.
You gotta start somewhere. Fuck it,
Yeah,
let's
dude.
do it.
Fuck it. Why not? If you don't do it, it won't get done.
But I was just wanting to say, like, when you have like a really good, like you said, when you have a really good beat, you want to put something over it, and I totally get that struggle because Ethan and I have tried for was it been 2 years now to find a drummer.
It's been about 25.
Yeah, dude, just fucking sequence that shit.
And we're
Yeah,
just like at
that's
this point,
the only thing.
You can be a one-man band in 2020.
yeah,
It's like, that's why, like, even like all my favorite musicians, not all of them, but like I really, really fuck with like one-man band musicians.
Yeah.
Which is like I love Prince. Prince is like one of my
Oh my
favorite dudes
God,
ever.
yes.
But like he was even in like 1979, like playing all the instruments, recording it all himself, doing all of his shit back then, and it was a lot harder then than it is now.
Yeah.
But like,
God, yeah.
like I love that shit. So like, I don't know, when I'm talking, a lot of times I meet musicians and they're always like, I don't know, they have excuses that are just like, oh, well, we don't have this, so we can't do this. And I'm just like, yo, do that shit yourself. So I guess that's why I'm singing.
Right.
Because I don't have time to like deal with anybody else, or I just don't have the patience. I definitely have the time. I guess patience is the issue.
Right.
So I'm just like, fuck it, I'm going to sing over these songs myself. But that opens up like another like shell in and of itself, because then you're not like a producer anymore. Now you're like the artist.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of put yourself out front more so than, being like a background gig like a producer would be. So, but I don't know. I mean, it's been really good for me just in terms of getting myself out there and kind of helping like grow and cultivate like a fan base of people that actually like interact with me on social media and all that. So I don't know. It's
like we're trying to do.
Yeah. Well, there you go. There you go. It worked, I guess. Excuse me.
I mean, when I heard that you were Grass Kingdoms, I instantly like fangirled, and then I was like, I've got to listen to everything now. So I went through your whole SoundCloud, and I was like, this guy's fucking legit. Like you can tell when somebody is a musician because they love music versus they're a musician because it's popular or because they're trying to make money or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Like, and you can definitely tell the difference between like your last album that you did versus the stuff that you came out with. Was it Letters from Quarantine or
Letters from the Lockdown?
Letters from the Lockdown.
Yeah. And that I did right at the beginning of COVID. And all those songs I wrote in like a day. So those weren't even like, I really like that record and it's cool and people really like it, which is great. But I kind of just like threw it together and then literally put it up. I released that on 420. But like, because the thing was like I wrote all those songs in like early April, because at the time it was right when the lockdown started. I was just like in a groove and I was writing like a song a day and like writing, filming, doing like a whole project a day. And then I did that for like a week. It took me to like write that record. And then it was right before the 20th. And I was like, oh shit, if I upload this to Spotify now, it can be out by the 20th. Yeah. So I was like, 420, let's just put out some fucking music. But that record's really cool. I mean, I enjoy it. A lot of people, like it, or at least they're telling me they do. I don't know if they're lying or not. But.
No, I'm lying. I made you drive all the way from Nashville because I hated it.
Well, that's fine. Whatever, man.
I wanted to make fun of you.
It's just press for us both at this point.
Right. So we're right at about the 25-minute mark. So we're going to take a break here. And when we come back, Noah's going to play us a song.
I saw you walking down my way. I had to stop and turn around, but I made a mistake. I speak the phrases that I heard you say. It's the little things you left me that I love to display. I'm looking at you, but I look away. Got your picture in my pocket, see it every day. I find some peace, but it quickly fades. Wish I really would have seen you walking down my way. 'Cause I don't think that it's fair to have to live my life without you. And not a day goes by that I don't stop and think about you. It's been a while since I've seen your face. Got your smile and your laughter burn inside my brain. I do my best to live out your name. All the memories of you that I love to replay. 'Cause I don't think that it's fair to have to live my life without you. And not a day goes by that I don't stop and think about you. And every day I'm alive, I learn to live and grow without you. I'm staring up at the sky, wish I could throw my arms around you.
And welcome back to At Least You Know Comedy Show. Sitting here with Dylan Page and Grass Kingdoms.
The one and only.
Welcome back to Coasting... No.
Ethan doesn't do enough of the radio voice, and like
No, I
I want
don't.
him to do more intros and stuff.
Dude, I love the radio voice. The radio voice is one of my favorite
The more I
voices.
think about it, so I don't like talking. Like, I prefer to listen. That's why I don't say a whole lot. I prefer to just listen to people
Absorb.
talk.
That's fair.
Yeah, and observe shit. However, the more I think about it, the more I would not mind being a fucking radio disc jockey, whatever the fuck they're called.
They're called disc jockeys.
I didn't know if that was still the thing or if there's
Yeah.
like some kind of new PC term you had to use for them. I wasn't sure.
How is disc jockey not PC?
I don't know. The horse jockeys might get pissed about it.
Fair. People get
Disc
mad.
kind of sounds like dick, so
Yeah, dick
Yeah,
jockey.
that's fair.
could be a
It's not a good
homosexual
one.
slur.
People like to get mad. I mean,
You're not fucking wrong. People get
Feels
mad
us,
over fucking
you know.
everything. Let me bust this table in
shit.
half real quick. All right, so now that we're back, Noah has played us a song. It was the shit. I'm excited about it. I'm very happy that you're here. This has been like I've been excited about this for 2 weeks now. How long has it been since
Hey.
we talked about it? You've got a bunch of stuff coming up, like different podcasts and stuff. Do you want to talk about any of those things that you got coming up?
no.
No.
No, I just, I'm just reaching out to a lot of people. So,
Yeah.
I mean, like, this is probably the second podcast I did this week. And
Cool.
then I got a few coming up next week. I don't know all their names off the top of my head, you know, and it's just kind of like I reach out to people and then I just mark my calendar and then just like make a mental note that it's like, all right, I got that at Tuesday at this time or, you know, Wednesday at this time or whatever.
Right.
And then I usually reach out to them shortly before and be like, hey, this is still happening, right? All right, cool. And then just kind of
Who are
figure it out.
you?
All right, well, never mind then.
We did something pretty interesting with the last episode. Jennifer's wild as hell. I don't know if you watched it, but that woman is crazy. We did something at the second part, right after the break, where we asked her to tell an embarrassing story that not a lot of people would know. Would you be comfortable with doing something like that?
I mean, yeah, I don't give a shit. I'll tell whatever. I can't think of anything like off the top of my head, but I mean, like, you know, let's guide this conversation a little bit and we'll figure something out. You know, like I have no reservations telling embarrassing shit, but I can't think of anything super off the top of my head. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When you're on the spot like that, I should have brought it up earlier.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Why? Well, you tell me something embarrassing, and then I'll hit you back with one.
My whole life? No. Ethan, give me something. You know all my stories. I know
An
the story.
embarrassing story of you. I don't have an embarrassing story of you, but I have a fucking hilarious story of you.
Go for it.
All right.
How old were we? Maybe 18, 19. And your dad had that big-ass brush pile in the back. Right underneath cable and phone and power lines.
Oh, that doesn't sound safe at all.
Yeah. So he had this big-ass brush pile. And he tells Dylan, go out there and burn the brush pile. So Dylan goes out there with a fucking, might as well have been a 50-gallon drum of gas, and just pours it all over this shit, all over the place.
Oh, no.
And it was me and him and like, I don't know, 5 or 6 other people. And we're like 40 yards away, like, we ain't getting no fucking closer. He
Yeah, I
goes
wouldn't
inside
either.
the house and gets some firecrackers. And lights
All
them
of this
and
is a
throws
terrible
them.
idea.
Throws them in the pile, and all you see is Dylan hauling ass. And dude, it looked like a fucking mushroom cloud. It was the biggest fucking explosion I've ever seen in my life.
They fuck up all the power lines?
No, it didn't do shit to them. It's a miracle.
Okay,
It's a
that's
miracle
good.
it didn't melt the phone and cable. But
Yeah, for real, man. You'd have your whole neighborhood mad at you.
It's one of those things where it's like, I've done so much wild shit that I don't remember if it's true, but I'm like, oh man.
I don't really know of
That's
anything
crazy.
embarrassing that you've ever done, because nothing really embarrasses you because you do shit.
Yeah.
Because you do shit for fun, right? And you
Every
do shit to
time
be
I've ever
funny. I
gotten
mean,
I
drunk.
feel that.
it's hard to be a comedian and be embarrassed.
I feel
Like,
that. I feel that, man. Like, cause I don't give a shit half the
Right,
time. I just
same.
kind of like go out and do things. Yeah, so I don't know, man. I'm sorry, I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Oh, you're good. I'll tell another one.
Yeah, go for it. Let's
There was one time we were 19, of course, and
course.
we had chugged like a fifth of Fireball, like
Jesus
Christ.
destroyed it.
Allegedly.
What's the statute of limitation for that? Because I don't think it matters anymore.
Probably not, but you never know.
Anyway,
We don't
shit.
break the rules, though.
I don't do that shit.
Yeah.
So
We ain't
we
got that
were
shit.
at Huddle House, which is the Lewisburg version of Waffle House. We were at Huddle House, and there's a sheriff's deputy in line to pay for his food, and I gotta go pee because after a fifth of liquor,
You gotta
gotta pee.
Yeah,
So I go to
feel
walk
that.
across the room, and this sheriff's deputy just kind of looks back at me. And you clearly fucking smell alcohol on my breath. I go in the bathroom, and I didn't have to pee. I immediately threw up fucking everywhere.
Yeah, I believe that.
Fucking everywhere. And I thought for sure the cop was like gonna smell it and come in there or something, because I'm
Yeah.
puking cinnamon. I mean, there's like a whole Fireball atomic candy in the fucking floor in there,
Delicious.
and nothing really happened. It was just he left.
Nice.
It was the end
Hell
of the story.
yeah.
It
Hell
was
yeah.
a terrible ending. It was a good story.
You gotta work
The
on-
journey was great, but the destination was
Yeah, well, you know, you gotta work on that. You know, we're figuring it out. We're workhousing it. You know.
So, tell me more about your future plans with your music. What type of direction are you wanting to go in the future? Are you still gonna do the same type of stuff that was on?
I really like what I'm making right now. I
Yeah.
think what I'm making is really cool. I mean, like, I definitely lean towards like certain styles these days, but I'm just trying to be more like singer-songwriter type you know, like, because I write everything myself.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, I guess if I decide I want to write something that maybe sounds different, like, I can do it, you know, because, like, I feel like I have that freedom. But these days I'm definitely kind of leaning more towards, like, just, like, pop music in general, you know, really dancey, like, disco stuff, but just, like, poppy, dancey stuff in general, you know. So, like, I don't really see myself falling away from that necessarily, but, you know, I don't know. The older I get, the more I experiment and the more I just write groovy shit. So I'm just going to keep trying to do that.
Fucking dig it.
Yeah, I definitely want to get more into, I've been trying to learn more about like synchronization licensing and like scoring for like movies and stuff like that.
Ooh.
Oh, hell yeah.
I would definitely really like to get into that some point in my life, you know, whether that's now or later or whenever.
Yeah.
That's definitely something that I've always wanted to like do and feel like I could, you know. I just got to figure out how to get into that world.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, the only thing that I wanted to do was write music for video games.
Yeah, that would be dope as fuck. That would be
Yeah.
super cool.
But I had no idea how to get into it, and like college definitely wasn't an option for me at that point in time. Shit was wild. But like, I mean, that's like big time dream.
Yeah.
To
And
do
that
shit
would be
like
that would be super dope as fuck. So I mean, like, that's definitely something that I would like to do in the future that I'm still kind of figuring out. I kind of feel like, I mean, the more I learn about like the industry, or like, I guess to go for any industry, but it's like, it is kind of about who you know, and it's just like people could see when you're working hard. And, you know, if you are working hard and you're at the event, you meet the people that you need to meet, and you just kind of like not be a dick, you know, like opportunities will come your way. So it's just kind of like, I know right now I'm doing a lot, and I know right now like my stock is slowly rising. So it's like, you know, I don't know exactly where I'm going to be in a few years, but I know that I'm growing, and I'm growing every year, and I've grown more this year than I did the last year. So we're just doing everything we can. And I just feel like eventually maybe I'll meet someone who can introduce me to someone else, who can introduce me to someone else, who can like, you know, help get that in motion. But, you know, I'll get there eventually. We're just kind of figuring it out day by day at this point.
They say that like the first 1,000 views on YouTube is the hardest. I think it's either the first 1,000 views or the first 1,000 subscribers. And you said you just hit 100,000.
I just hit 150,000 views.
No shit.
And I think I'm maybe at about 1,500 subscribers right now. So yeah, I just did that. Realistically speaking, most of those views are the Nadav is Googling song.
Yeah.
But I mean, not most of them, maybe about half of them.
I was going to ask if that helped any.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, every time I show up on their show, it helps me out a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, like, every time they mention me or play a song and, like, say my name or something like that, I always screen record it, then repost it on my social media and, like, tag everyone and do the hashtags and do all that. And that always brings new eyes to, like, my pages. Like, when Nadav is Googling, like, when they first played it and it popped off, I screen recorded that and, like, posted that, and I got like 1,000 followers on Instagram in like 2 days. Just
No
because.
shit.
Yeah, like that one was wild. That one popped off way more than anything else I've ever like done for them or sent them, or, you know, because I've been like popping up on their show a decent amount, you know, over the last year. Just like, you know, I've written a handful of songs for them or whatever, like between them and like Two Bears One Cave, because I did those things of Bert auto-tuned, like I auto-tuned him.
Yeah,
and
those
had
are
him sing 'em.
hilarious.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, and I mean, like, when I did that, like, that also, like, I did the same thing, you know, I screen record, I post that up, and then Bert reposted it, and it got, like, 100,000 views.
Nice.
So it's like, those are fucking my views, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just wild. Every time something like that happens, you know, I'm able to, like, create something out of it and get a lot of eyes on the thing, but then a lot of these people come in and, like, you know, I talk to people all the time, you know, and a lot of, like, I know for a fact that a lot of my current fan base that's really, like, engaged and active is just straight up people from your mom's house. So it's like people will comment on all my things. Like, when I post a video on YouTube, I'm always getting, like, this is so high and tight, mommy, like, comments, you know, like, hey, this song made me come in 4 strokes. Like, and it's awesome. Like, I love it because, you know, I love the show too. So,
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's great knowing that I'm able to, like, work my way into that universe somehow.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, with them, like, putting me over so well, you know, every time, like, I send them something is definitely, like, it's good for me because obviously it helps my self-esteem and shit, but like, you know, like I remember when at No More Acupuncture, when they first played that, it was like I got fired from a job like the day before and was feeling really shitty and was like totally down. And then they played that the next day and they're like, this is so good. And I remember that being like, all right, like, you know, I mean, that was just like a moment in my life where I was like, oh, I got to get this fucking train on the road, you know?
There's something about when somebody that you respect, like, gives you a compliment.
100%.
It's life-changing.
100%.
In that moment.
100%. So, like, that... And even, like I was telling you earlier, even with that song getting so much, like, popularity that it did when it came out, like, at the time, I wasn't really making, like synth pop jams like that, you know, like dancey jams. I was still just making, like, weird beats. And it was another thing, too. This happened maybe a few weeks before they played that song. I remember I was in Atlanta, and I was at, like, this showcase event where you play your music for, like... They have like 3 celebrity judges or something, and you play your music, and then they kind of give you critique, you know? And they were all just like really popular engineers in the area or like producers, whatever. And I did one of those events, and the advice I got afterwards was the guy was like, yo, your music's really cool. And like, you know, like I don't know the guy personally, but I'd been to a bunch of these events. So like I kind of knew him and he knew me. And he's like, you know, I've talked to you a bunch of times, and you know, I'm usually like on the stage at these events, like dancing and doing weird shit. And, you know, like I know, like, you know, I have my hair, I look a certain way, I dress a certain way. Like he's like, you know, you're a really like quirky, weird dude, but I don't really get that from your music. It just doesn't feel like it connects. Right. So I was like, all right. It's like, I thought about that and really thought about that, you know? And then like a week later they played Acupuncture No More. And I was like, all right, like, I've always loved, like, dance music and, like, really poppy, like, vibey shit like that. So, I don't know, I guess just, like, a combination of those two things really made me kind of reestablish what I was making or, like, what I wanted to make or versus what I felt like I wanted to make, you know? Like, I was making... So, like these days I feel like I'm making shit for myself that even if no one else likes it, I think it fucking bangs. So, like, suck a dick, you know?
Make music for yourself. Fuck
yeah,
everybody
you know,
else.
as opposed to like trying to fit a mold that you think will make you popular, or trying to be like, well, this is what's popular, so I have to be like that, you know. But if it's not like people can tell when you're like trying to do it for a check versus like just doing it because you love doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's been really beneficial for me over the past like year or so, because it's like, I don't know. I went from like I was just saying my numbers on YouTube. It was like for like 9 years, I had barely had like 20,000 plays. So like I have like 150,000 now, but like 130 of those were all in the last year.
Right.
So I'm obviously like, you know, I made a change and it's working. So I'm just kind of just chasing that dragon, you know?
Yeah.
Right. Like with Ethan and I mean, we've been trying to do music since high school, about 10 years.
Yeah.
And
what's stopping you?
just every band that we've been in.
We don't go anywhere with it.
Every band that we've been in like fell through. You know,
we have
there
people
was
that
an
flake out
asshole.
and shit. Yeah.
There was an asshole member of one band, and he
Yeah.
ruined the whole vibe. And I mean, like you were saying at the start, like it's hard to find somebody else that you vibe with. Ethan and I vibe musically, but it's hard when you're a guitarist and a bass player. You know what I mean? Like,
And see,
what the
that's-
fuck?
Like you were talking earlier about, it's easy to be like a one-man band or a two-man band in 2020, but the biggest like roadblock for me doing that is I'm in a completely different headspace when it's like me on guitar, him on bass, and someone singing or one of us singing or whatever, and a drummer. Like I'm in a completely different frame of mind from when it's just, say, me and him sitting down.
Well, I mean,
jamming out some
is that
shit,
like a good or a
playing
bad thing?
A good thing. Like, well, a good thing when I'm in a room full instruments playing with a band, because I'm so geared toward being
like
together
having
and us
the
playing
full
together.
band, yeah, as opposed to like playing over a track.
Like it's hard for me to get over that because I'm a hell of a lot more hype and
I feel
want
ya.
to do shit.
I mean, like it is what it is. You know, you if you really wanted to like like if you did sit down and say like, fuck it, let's just do it, me and you, and track these drums out, and none of us can play drums, so we could sequence them. Like yeah, I get it. Like there is a thing to playing with live musicians versus like playing over a track.
Yeah,
you know, especially if like you write, because like I write all my music and I play all the instruments and I do all of that, so I build it from nothing to something else, and it's way easier to like write a song when you already have like drums. You already have like an idea, and you already have like other things playing that you can kind of play with, as opposed to like start with nothing and then just like write a synth line or something.
What programs do you use to write your music?
I'm Ableton, 100%.
Ableton?
Yeah.
How much is that? Because I want it.
Expensive.
Really?
I mean, well, like they have like 3. They have like a light, the standard, and a suite. I think suite's like $800. Realistically speaking,
not bad.
it's not terrible. I love it. There's a million other programs you could use. The one I use works for me, and it's the one I also like perform with. So I mean, like it's kind of my everything program, but that doesn't necessarily mean it'd be best for you or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, like there's a million different ways to get across that bridge, you know?
That's something that I've always wanted to do is, I want to do comedy. I want to do YouTube videos. I want to do the podcast. Like I literally want to dabble in a little bit of everything.
And you can,
I want to be that dude because it's what I like to do. I like to do a little bit of everything.
I feel that.
I really want to get a good music software, even if it is just me and Ethan playing guitars and singing ourselves. I would love to have something with drum tracks in the background.
Yeah.
Because
eventually,
you know, if you build it, they will come. You know, maybe we'll find a drummer that way.
Someone will hear it and be like, hey.
That's true too, though. It is a lot easier to like meet people if you have something to give them.
Yeah.
Or something to show them. Like even like if I were to like go to an event and say like I'm a musician but I don't have any music online, then like that doesn't mean anything, you know. But if I said like here's my demo tape, you know, then maybe that would be an easier way to find a rapper if I needed someone. But like you know, there's a lot of different fucking ways to.
I love listening to rapper demos, especially if it's like the shitty street corner rapper.
I do too though. I was actually like thinking about this yesterday or just the other day, just thinking about like, man, it's been a while since I've been at a gas station and someone handed me a mix CD. It's been a fucking while. Do they just upload them to Spotify now? Because like people don't really hand out CDs like they used to.
Bandcamp.com.
Yeah, but it's like that was a thing 10 years ago,
for
man.
so long too.
Hell yeah, we're taking donations. Like I'm not gonna give you money for this fucking album, but if you give it to me, I'll listen to it. And isn't that what your goal is? Like,
right. Yeah.
Fucking A, man.
We're taking donations.
Nah, it's been a while since someone handed me a mix CD at the gas station.
The last time I was in Detroit, this dude handed me a mixtape, and it had like the pyramid on it with the eyeball, and he was like, "It's edutainment, brother." And I was
Hell
like,
yeah.
"Jesus
Edutainment.
Christ."
Hell yeah, the government's corrupt, bro. Illuminati.
It was so weird. He was talking about how
Illuminati
like,
on
there's
my
like
mind,
spiders
soul,
in
and
your
my body.
blood and shit.
Hell yeah.
You still have this?
No, he was onto
Maybe.
something. He was onto something, man. Don't diss the homie.
I gotta get
have
these
to
bees
find
out of my
this.
teeth.
Yeah,
You
dude.
gotta find this
Don't
shit.
diss the homie. He's on PCP.
He looked just like Eazy-E. It was hilarious. I was like,
Eazy-E on
I've gotta
PCP.
hear this.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
He pulled up on a 3-wheeled bicycle that had like a chain for the handlebars,
Yeah.
but it was gold. The rest of the bike was
hell
like blue.
That's hard as fuck.
Oh my
It was like, hey, bro, hey, Bam Bam Bigelow. I was like, get the fuck away from me.
Damn, that's hard.
You want to hear my mixtape, bro? I was like, yes, I very much
I mean,
do.
I do. You said Bam Bam. That's a
Did
cool
he really call you
reference.
Bam Bam Bigelow?
He called me Bam
That's
Bam
a
Bigelow.
cool- that's a cool
that's fucking
reference.
I was like, I'm
hilarious.
mad as fuck that you even know what that is.
Nah, that's hard.
Because people have called me that before, you ass cheek.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
super cool. That's
Fire.
a cool reference. Bam Bam Bigelow's a G though. He's not like he had a moonsault like a motherfucker, man.
That's a big ass boy to be moonsaulting
Yeah,
too.
with
Let's
his,
be
with
honest.
his flame outfit.
With his flames on the side of his head.
Yeah, that
Kerry
shit's hard
King.
as fuck, dog. Walking out with Luna Vachon. This shit's hard.
Jesus
Oh my
Christ.
I'm just saying, at least he didn't call you like Bastion Booger. I'd be way more upset if he called me
I
that.
don't even know what that is. I'm
Well, he's a
Googling
big
it.
fat guy who wrestled around the same time. And
What's
his gimmick was that he was a big fat ass. So
And he put boogers on. God
yeah.
Let's see.
damn it. I hate everything.
Big fat guy. His gimmick in the early '90s was that because like I don't know, like he got in trouble, like
Holy
the guy
shit.
I forget his actual name, but he got in trouble. So Vince, like he got in trouble not showing up to an event or something. So Vince strapped him with a gimmick that was just like, "You're a fat fuck," and he was a fat fuck. So he's like, "All right, let's do it." So they would cut like promos of him just like eating in the back, just like eating with like food all over his fucking chest.
Let me get some chicken strips.
Yeah, just
my
straight up like
God.
eating like a pig.
Oh my God, that's the worst.
Yeah, so
I
I'd
hate it.
rather be Bam Bam Bigelow than
Okay, I take it back.
Bam Bam died with his dignity, I think.
if
I don't
you're-
remember how Bam Bam died, actually.
If you're out there, whatever the hell your name was, Illuminati Fred,
Yeah.
I appreciate your compliment. Okay,
Hell yeah. Bam Bam's tight.
Illuminati Fred.
dude, it was wild.
There
And
are
the
worse
music
people you
behind
could
it
be
was just
compared
like
to.
spooky.
Hell yeah.
Did it have a name?
I don't
like
remember.
Did his shit? Was it like
How long ago was this?
reopening the third eye or some shit?
Last summer, I probably have it in my car somewhere.
Hell
It's
yeah.
smashed.
Please
Dude,
find
I
it.
haven't been handed a mixed CD in at least, like, I don't think I've been handed one since I've lived out in Tennessee. I don't think I have.
I was in Nashville Mall. No, not Nashville.
No, I've
What's
definitely been handed
Opryland.
beat CDs.
I was in Opryland Mall and I got handed one time.
That's hard.
It's like, it was like Mike. What was his name? Mike Jones. It was
Who?
like that type of music, and I
Who?
was like, "Why is this Mike Jones?
Who?
Mike Jones?
Who?
You know, 281-330-8004.
Who?
You know. Anyway,
Yo, do people near the Grand Ole Opry hand out like country mixtapes?
oh my God, why don't they?
Yeah, why has that ever been a thing?
Look, when I was a fucking kid, we had this dude from like Dish Network or Direct TV or Satellites Buttfuck, whatever the fucking company was,
Yeah.
come to install satellite at our house.
Please tell me he gave you a mixtape.
He gave us
Hell
a
yeah.
fucking country mixtape.
Hell yeah, was
and
it good?
it was the most redneck, stupid shit. Well, I'm fucking my sister right up her ass and running down the road to cut some grass. Like, it was fucking horrible, dude. It was awful. My dad took the CD and threw it in the fucking garbage.
That's hard.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, if I can get Ableton, I will produce a country music CD that's
I'll
just
do it.
me talking shit.
Yeah, you should. You should.
I would
I
love
You can
so
do that.
down
You
with
can do that in any of these DAWs. Ableton is probably the most expensive. So I mean, you could do that. You have that's a PC. Never mind. I was going to say get Logic, but Logic's a Mac only thing.
Yeah.
But no, you could definitely do that, and I support that decision 100%.
I've been told by 10 billion people that I need to get Mac if I ever want to do music.
That's not true at all. Those people are fucking liars. Those
Tom,
people are full of shit.
Tom, you heard it from a musician.
Especially like the new Macs. Like, if you're going to buy a Mac, you should have bought one 10 years ago because they
Yeah.
fucking suck now.
Really?
They're just, they're okay, but it's like they're so locked down. Like I have an older Mac that I got from college in 2011, and it still works by the grace of God. And it's like that was the last generation where I could open it up and like add RAM to it or like change the hard drive. And then they stopped doing that. And then the new ones only have like the one USB strip, and it's like the USB-C where you have to buy the adapter. And
Yeah.
and if you want to like if you wanted to get a computer for like music production, you're going to want to put some money into like getting more RAM and getting like a better
Yeah.
processor.
Yeah.
Because when you run in these big sessions, they're really computer heavy. So a stock MacBook ain't going to really cut it if you're trying to do like professional shit. But the amount of money that you would put in to get that MacBook up to like where it's good, I mean, like you could spend $2,000 on a PC laptop and get a fucking amazing beast that will last forever.
Yeah.
But like the same thing on Mac will cost you like $3,500.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
I've just never been a fan of Apple products because of that, of how expensive they are.
oh yeah,
And
I mean it's a name. You're buying a trend, you
Right.
know, and they're cool. Like they're great. I'm not gonna say like they don't work, but like,
Right.
you know, they're just trendy. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But that being said, everything I own is Apple. So I'm part of the problem.
Well, we're right at about the end of our little session here. So is there anything else you want to say before we go? Is there anything that you want to go ahead, promote your stuff again? Promote all your social medias, of course.
All my social media at grasskingdoms, grasskingdoms. They're all the same at grasskingdoms. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, SoundCloud. Pornhub, YouTube, Twitch. I got a Pornhub account. I really do. YouTube, Twitch, all of that shit is at Grass Kingdoms. There's no porn on it, but I upload all my YouTube videos on a Pornhub.
Why not?
Why not? It's
Why not?
hilarious.
It's another platform.
It's hilarious. But everything is uniform. Everything is under Grass Kingdoms. GRASSKINGDOMS, all one word, all lowercase because I don't believe in capital letters. Yeah, everywhere, nowhere.
All right, man. Well, this has been awesome. I'm glad you came down. I
Yeah,
hope you
I'm
had
glad
fun.
so.
Thank you.
Hope you
Most
enjoyed
definitely.
it. I hope we get 500,000 views.
I hope we get
Yeah.
600,000.
I hope you blow up tonight.
Ah, shit.
Real quick,
What's up?
as of the break, we've got 353 views on our last video,
Oh, shit.
yeah.
which is the most we've ever had. So
Hey.
thank you. We got 58 subscribers on YouTube.
Hey,
So
don't forget to smash that like and subscribe
Right.
button.
Like
Hit the
5
bell for
people-
notifications.
five more
because,
people
yeah.
subscribed since last week.
Oh, shit.
Since we did the last video, and
Hey.
522 members on Facebook. We went up like well over 100. I'm pretty sure
Sick.
in a week.
Congratulations.
So, thank you
Growth.
guys.
If you guys would do me a favor
sharing.
with all of that great progress and all those awesome numbers, if you guys would do me a favor and find one single person to send this podcast to, I would appreciate it. And then send them Grass Kingdom's music as well.
Absolutely.
Because he's next up. I'm telling you right now. You heard it here on At Least You Know Comedy Show.
You got it.
So thank you
Sick.
very much for joining in tonight.
Sade.
Sade. Oh, yeah.